Yeah. Feels good to lay down. We've made it to the airport, but it is only 11:15. And what time did we board? 6:45. We boarded at 6:45. So yeah, that was also the longest Uber trip I've ever taken. That was like an hour and a half. A lot of money. But yeah, we get to sit here for about, I don't know, 6-7 hours before we go check in our bags to the other terminal. And then we're on the flight. Ryanair, pray for us. Hopefully catch a few Z's, and next thing you'll see is me boarding the airplane. Really tired on the way to Rome. See you then.
On my grind, no nigga on that grind. On my grind, no nigga on that grind. Yeah, I'm on my grind. On my grind, no nigga on that grind.
What Rhetoric do, man? He just got a dope name.
Insane. This is where we are. This is where we need to go. That's one way to do it. But board the sucker, and I will see you in Rome, where hopefully my face will be less red. Say this is the rarest location I've ever had for an Airbnb. But then I did have one in the hood in Barcelona that was kind of cool, but not as cool as this. We've made it to Rome. Made it inside. We had no cash, so I had to go in and figure out a foreign ATM situation. So I used my Spanish context clues to kind of figure out what was going on, but we made it. Welcome to Rome. The city where everything looks like you should be filming it, and it's very important. That's gonna be my day. It's a process of figuring out what's important enough to film and what's not as important to film. So I might be pointing out a lot of things to you guys you don't even care about. Absolutely no lack of churches and or religious buildings here at all. So you're gonna get a lot of those. A lot of those. Here is one prime example of something that I have no clue what it is, and I am in the way of all these tourists. I kind of like it. The easiest thing about vlogging in another country is the majority of the people have no clue what you're talking about at all. So it's not as embarrassing to hold the camera in front of your face, because nobody's listening in. I mean, they're listening in, but they don't know what's going on. And the same thing goes both ways. Somebody else is talking. I don't really know what's going on. I can pick up on a little bit though, because it's really close to Spanish. That's what got me through this check-in. There it is, about a mile in the distance. Destination number 1, the Coliseum. You may ask Chase, why are you going to the Coliseum first? To which I will reply to everything, when in Rome. There it is, we found it. Honestly, not that tough to find. Kind of like finding the World Trade Center in New York. Just kind of sticks out, and as soon as you see it, you just walk to it. It is also weird to see the new construction equipment out here rebuilding all this stuff that was built so long ago, using all this technology that they never had back then to reconstruct it. It's just crazy to see a repurposed city that is this old. You don't get that in the US, and I know I talk about that all the time. That's one of my favorite parts about coming out here, is seeing stuff that is way older than I'm used to seeing in the States. There's a good view. Whew. Across the street here is no joke. Crossing the street in London is way worse, especially when you're not downtown in all the touristy areas. Because when you're downtown, they have the look left, look right. And I tell you what, man, when you go your whole life, 25 plus years, 50 plus years, looking one way when you're crossing the street, and you know it's the right way, it's really hard to switch that habit up. We have reached the Trevi fountain. You can always tell if you're in the right spot, because there are a ton of people with their phones out and their cameras out just taking pictures, like me. So usually I rely on local people to tell me where to eat, but when I don't know anybody there, I go to Yelp, and this place had 5 stars, and it definitely deserves it. Just check this out. This is no joke. The whole Italians have better food thing, totally real. Totally real. Here's the Spanish Steps right here. But as you can see, it's all under construction, so we can't get to it all the way down to the Piazza del, however you say Spanish, the Spanish Plaza down here. Oh, I'm so terrible. Maybe I need to just go to Spain and explore Spain so I can actually tell you guys about things. Kind of like how Puerto Rico was. Where do you want to go now?
I don't know.
Okay.
Pantheon? Piazza Navona.
All right. I think the next thing is the Pantheon. Every single alleyway that you walk down here is gorgeous. There's not an ugly part of Rome thus far. Made it to the Pantheon. Check it out. Ever read Angels and Demons, this right here was the first clue that threw them off at the very beginning of the book. If you haven't read Angels and Demons, I recommend you read it. Also, another full circle story that I'd like to give you guys is last time I was on a European tour, I was reading Angels and Demons and it was all set in Rome. And this year, after the European tour, I'm in Rome, just like I said I would do last time. Patience and hard work and just trusting in the universe to bring you everything that you want. If you're thankful for it, and you put in the work. Only stipulation is you gotta be thankful for both the good and the bad that happens throughout that whole time. All right, I'm walking through people's pictures. I gotta quit doing that. I feel so bad. Okay, cool. That's that. In here taking pictures of my dad because there are no pictures of my dad ever. So I'm making them all in Italy. In 50 years, the world's gonna think my dad only existed on this one trip in Italy because that's where all the pictures are gonna be from. Intense. Like camping. When in Rome. Hashtag when in Rome. Hashtag when Rhetorik's in Rome. Hashtag I'm gonna wear that joke out. Hashtag dad jokes. Hashtag I have a fanny pack on, so I'm allowed to do it. Rhetorik fanny pack's out now. What is this called? We're here at the Piazza Navona. I know I gave that a super Spanish accent. I apologize. This reminds me a lot of Madrid because in Madrid they would have a bunch of different plazas all throughout the city just in the middle of all these buildings. But yeah, I think that concludes our little trek for the beginning of the day. Neither of us have slept, so we're gonna go back to the Airbnb right now, catch up on some sleep, and then maybe hit some nightlife stuff. And by nightlife stuff, I just mean exploring things at night, nothing crazy. I'll see you then. Alright, so this right here ahead of me is St. Angelo's Castle, Castel Sant'Angelo. I'm screwing up all those names, which at one point was used as a secret fortress for the Pope when things went down in the Vatican City. I think there's an underground tunnel that goes from Vatican City all the way here, and at one point it was the fortress for the Pope because it was considered so hard to attack. And I know I don't usually give you guys facts. That one's from my book, Angels and Demons, that I read. It really inspired me to come here, so that's an easy fact. That one doesn't count. You can barely see it. There it is. But take a moment and pause and say, Rome is one of those places that is so beautiful, astounding, insanely above and beyond what you thought you could ever see in your life, that it doesn't feel real. Like even walking up to the Vatican right now does not feel real. Just look at all this architecture around here. It's so huge, so extravagant, so over the top that you never thought that you would ever witness something like this. And I think that's why it keeps blowing me away. Each and every turn that I make in this city, the next thing is more amazing than the last thing. It's unbelievable. Extremely tired right now, but woke up from a short little nap to make this short ice cream run to Frigidarium. The reviews are crazy on Yelp, so I want to check it out, and it's €1 a scoop. I think that's the only thing I'm gonna do tonight, because tomorrow's a long day. Got Vatican City and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm about to get run over, so here's the ice cream. That's fine. Thank you. Nice. I love that expectation. Real good. I think that's it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning again from Rome. I am in rare mode today because we have to wear pants inside the Vatican Museum in the Sistine Chapel. €193, you can own this guy. Looks like a real life Snapchat filter. Vatican was awesome. May or may not have, you know, accidentally left my camera on for some of those parts. The Vatican is the equivalent to a human being that is tatted from head to toe in art. There's not a single room in there that doesn't have art from the floor to the ceiling, all over the walls, everywhere. It was gorgeous, and I think I am off to eat now. Going to the trusty Yelp since I don't know anybody in Rome yet, but that is up to you guys to help me meet somebody in Rome the next time that I'm here. All right, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. See ya. Final day in Rome, going up to the one place that I've wanted to go for the sunset every single night but haven't had a chance. And it is called, and I put it right there because I forgot the name. Took a nice short 30-minute, 4-mile run down the Tiber River right here. I already know this is about to be one of the best runs of all time. Oh boy. It is hot. Currently at the Circo Maximo. It's where they used to hold chariot races. Over 250,000 people could see it from here. Obviously, I think it was a little bit cleaner back then, but this is still nice. Ran all the way down to the Coliseum, finished up there. It was beautiful. Isn't this just amazing to run into? Check it out. Not a bad little ending point here at the Coliseum. But yeah, on my way up to this spot, not only have I wanted to go there, people have tweeted me to go there, and when you search best spots to see sunset in Rome, I think this is the #1 spot. Unfortunately, it's super cloudy today, so I don't know how good of a sunset you're gonna get, but I'm hoping for the best. One thing I like about being abroad is that all the things that you're usually comfortable doing, like going getting food, going and relaxing somewhere outside, it's all uncomfortable, so you have no way of getting in your comfort zone unless you're in your house, which is boring. And then you feel guilty for wasting your vacation or your time abroad. So I like that it forces me to be outside of my comfort zone at all times. And that's where all the magic happens. That it actually hit me like, hey man, you're in Rome, you're in Italy. You were absolutely nowhere close to where you came from, to your comfort zone, any of that, nowhere close. You were doing what you set out to do. There's a whole lot more. I'm pretty unsure about ever doing this in my life. Now that this has happened, I'm unsure about all the other things that I want to do in my life. But if history is correct and my life and my approach is correct, it's all going to come to fruition at the time that it's supposed to. It's putting in the hard work, dedication, trusting in myself, trusting in the universe. And as unsure as I am, I'm going to act like I'm sure. And the more I act like I'm sure, the more the universe will think I'm sure and will reward me with the things actually happening. Actually, let me sit down for this. It looks sturdy enough. Last year while I was on tour, I was reading this book called Angels and Demons, and it was exploring Rome and telling me a bunch about Rome. And I said to myself, next year, instead of reading about Rome, I'm going to go to Rome, and I did. To be honest, when I said that, I wasn't sure it was gonna happen. Absolutely nothing in this life can I be 110% sure about. The only thing that I can be sure about is the effort that I put forth to get what I want, do what I want to do, make the impact that I want to make. Everything else is not guaranteed. And there are a lot of things that I want to do from this point forward, and as unsure about them as I am when I say that I'm going to do them, I'm sure that I'm going to put forth the right amount of effort, have the right amount of patience, and the right amount of trust in the universe itself to help me accomplish these things that I'm putting forth this year to do next year, or to do next month, or to do next week, to do tomorrow, or to just do after I finish filming this. And that's what I want to bring to you guys, is put forth those goals and find strength in being unsure. Because when you're unsure, about something. It means that you're going to put forth the maximum amount of effort possible to make it happen. Being unsure gives you the fuel and the drive to get these things done. If you were sure something was going to happen, you'd be lazy. Instead of fearing how unsure you are and finding fear in the inability to be completely confident in something happening, find fuel, find passion, and find an eagerness to make it happen. Being unsure means that your body is ready to fight for it, to fight for that 100% accomplishment. And honestly, that's one major piece of the formula to success, is taking things that used to scare you and making them motivate you. And that's it. That is my time in Rome. I had an incredible time this week with my dad in London, Paris, Rome. It's unbelievable, man. He's never been to Europe before. It was insane to have him here and be here with him on his first time. We haven't really taken a father-son vacation before, so it was cool to do that also. What's crazy is originally we were supposed to go to northern Italy, research the Italian side of my family, and then come down to Rome. I messed up with the schedule, so he still had already booked his flight to come out here early, and that's why he ended up on the road with us. I think that an unfortunate mistake turned into the most incredible father-son vacation of all time. And that's another thing too, man, is that sometimes you think that you messed up and you ended up messing up for a reason. If I didn't accidentally tell him to come out earlier because I didn't know that we still had more shows, then he wouldn't have gotten to see London, Paris, be on the road and experience his son on the road and see what his son does. And that all came from an unfortunate mistake. Neither of us stressed about it, and we made it happen and turned it into one of the best vacations of all time. For him. I mean, I was still working, hopefully. Did you have a good time, Dad? I know you're watching this. Waking up tomorrow morning, have a 10-hour flight to Chicago. My phone just fell on the ground, and I think on that note, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna go home, get some sleep. I might get more ice cream too. I know I said no sugar for the summer, but today is September 1st. I will see you guys back in America. Take all that I've said, mush it up, digest it, take whatever nutrients you want from it, and go out and do something right now. Go do something you're unsure about. Make it happen. Set goals, accomplish them. The real thing that matters is your purpose. Peace.